We've traveled halfway across the world to Cyprus for what is the world's most hardcore home gym yet. Whose gym is this? This is Clint Darden's home gym. Clint Darden is a black belt in 5 martial arts, competing in over 100 tournaments, an American pro strongman and Masters WSM competitor. He's a full-time dad and a director of autism assessment support practice. Clint has over 40 years of training experience and decades worth of experience coaching, including WSM competitors. Clint lives in Cyprus with his family, and for the past 20 years has trained in his home gym he calls the House of Biceps. A satirical name given training arms is his least favorite thing to train. Clint's a training genius. There's nobody like him, not even close. Enjoy the tour and give the other videos we filmed with Clint a watch. All right, let's make our way inside this place. This is the House of Biceps. See what we can find out here. We got a sandbag over here. We got a half stone. We got, good thing I got a tetanus shot. We got a stone loading farmers buried in the grass, giant strongman tire, more Atlas stones, of course. Clint is known for being one of the world's premier Atlas stone legends. I know it's a Viking press, but it also looks like a Trojan horse of some sort. Conan's wheel. We got farmers, sled, Atlas stone, complete with snails. This place will bury you, man. All right, let's get inside and find Clint. Hello. Thank you for having me over to the House of Biceps.
Glad you're here, man.
Can you show us the majesty of this place?
Come on inside. There's not a whole lot to see, I guess, or there's a lot to see. I don't really know. This is a basic, I think, 13 by 15 foot room. And I've been here for 20 years.
I see so much I don't know where even to begin. I don't even know what type of rack this is. There's so much stuff buried in your yard.
We'll start. I
guess strongman equipment is buried out there.
So many questions about this rack from people. I brought this from the States. I had a buddy of mine that was training with me at the time make this for me by hand. So I just, as a normal lifter, you have all the bicep tendonitis where you're trying to grab a squat bar and you're trying to force your hands in the rack. I'm like, I want something to go in my garage. I want something that I can overhead press in, so it's got to be over 8 feet tall. And I want something that it'll kind of swing like a mono lift.
So this is a mono.
But I could put the bar here, and then I could grab the bar kind of anywhere I wanted to. So I wasn't forced, in a normal rack, having to squeeze my shoulders in. He made it fairly adjustable for me. I don't think anyone else likes it at all.
There's a common thread amongst the series of videos we've done. The people with some of the coolest stuff, they're just friends with the welder.
Yeah. That's what I've done for so many things. I'm just like, kind of here's an idea of what I want. This is what I need it for.
Yeah.
Have at it. And then down here at the floor, and this is common now, but 20-something years ago it wasn't. I wanted to be able to squat wide. So I had to make the racks off the ground, which there were no racks made like that. But my other squat racks at the time were a pair of 55-gallon steel drums. And I would put the bar across the steel drums with the plates on top of the drums, get under the bar, good morning it up, walk back and squat. And then when you finish, you kind of dive back into the barrels and hope you hit it. So this was a big step up from that.
This thing is so slick, so compact. And then the height is good. I mean, what did you say about the floor again with it?
Well, so the big thing, if you squat wide,
and
you've got a standard squat rack, then you're limited. You would have to squat like here, because your feet would have to be inside the rack. But like when I squat wide, I'll move this mat out wider so it fills everything up. But that way I can get my feet out, much wider, like a wide powerlifting squat.
Gotcha.
And then I can hook the bands, down here on a pair of baby formula cans that have been cut open. Another feature of this here, and you'll see this when we get a chance to use it, is if somebody's here to run it for you, they can pull the rack out for you. But if you're here by yourself, you take the bands and you just put them on a little handle here. So that way, when you got the squat bar here, the squat bar sits here, and then as soon as you stand up, it pulls it out of your way. And then when you're finished, you just kind of dive bomb and kind of hope it goes back in the rack. I haven't missed one yet. No?
The lights have a baking dish around them as a lamp shade for some reason.
That's a reflector.
It's a reflector. Look, there's 2 of them.
I thought you guys knew something about photography and videography. Yeah. If you can't get a reflector here, if there's no place to buy photography equipment or lighting anything at the time when you need it, you go to the store and you get some baking pans and You rig up some lights and
You got a lot of weight plates. You got the irons.
yeah.
Yep, there you go.
Moved here with
Bumpers.
when I moved here, there was no such thing as bumper plates for sale, really. Most of the bumper plates are the last 10 years.
Okay.
The steel plates are older than me, probably.
I think anyone with a pair of steel weights worth their salt, those steel plates are going to be older than them.
Absolutely.
Now, over here, you got, of course, your clock that doesn't work.
That clock.
You weren't kidding.
No.
When I messaged you, I was like, I hope the clock doesn't work. You
No.
said that clock hasn't worked in 10 years.
No.
So,
Well, time will pass, but you won't. I used to have a teacher that said that in school. She had a big clock on the wall, and she said, time will pass, but you won't. So you come to the gym, my wife always says, every day I leave the gym, she says, what time are you coming home? When I'm done. And then now I think she asked me that just because it's habit. And she knows if she doesn't ask, then it'll probably throw my training session off. We get here when we get here, and we leave when we leave, and it tells the temperature and the humidity.
so that works.
Sort of.
Definitely hot as hell here, and I appreciate you filming this video without fans. It's for the audio, for all the people listening. It is Cyprus during a heat wave is, why would you live here?
You meet a beautiful woman, that's why you live here.
Okay.
I've got some really cool axles over here. When I was, when I just began putting my home gym together at my parents' house in Kentucky, I didn't have any bars. So I couldn't afford any bars, and I had some plates. So I went to a local welder, and I said, hey, I want you to make me something. And so I said, I want a 2 3/8 inch axle. So he just took some pipe, and then he's got a 2-inch bar straight going through here.
Yeah.
Down through the center, and made a 2 3/8 inch. This is 40 pounds, and that's a 3-inch axle, 60-pound 3-inch axle.
Yeah, this is, I can't even, well, there's no getting your hand around it. Yeah, there's always tape. You know it's a hardcore gym when half the barbells have duct tape in weird places.
Yeah.
Tape tells you where to go,
Yeah,
right,
that's
or
where your
something.
hands go.
And then this is a bunch of taped PVC pipes.
That PVC stuff is kind of some stuff Elia's mom brought that one day.
Sorry, I'm getting it out.
And she was she's a very interesting, demanding woman, and she came one day and decided that we were going to have something to throw sandbags over.
Oh, this is okay.
So she showed up one day and she's like, we're going to build this. So I was in here training, and she just shows up and kind of comes in and says, you, Clint, come outside, help me now. So I was taking that, and we would duct tape it to the super yoke, and then she put a little wire across the top to measure the height. So when we're throwing sandbags for height, just as long as it would go over the wire, we knew that we made the perfect height. She had everything all measured out. And then eventually I brought this in, and just I've used it for curls and all kinds of.
You're curling the sandbag. Standard barbells, a lot of axles. What was with you? Well, you're a strongman. That makes sense. But I didn't understand why Donnie Thompson had so many axles in his gym. But that's a.
Well, okay. This is great information. Glad you almost asked the question. Why would a normal person have a thick axle? If you're bench pressing and you're having elbow pain and shoulder pain and wrist pain, switch over to using an axle for a while, because that thicker bar spreads the weight out in your hand instead of holding a small bar in your hand. I've got giant hands, so I get a small bar. It puts all that pressure down in my hands, and it feels like it just goes straight down through here. You get a thick bar, it spreads that pressure out in your hand, and when you're pressing, it takes all the kind of the pressure off your shoulder, off your elbows, and off your wrists. Try switching from a regular bar over to an axle. See if you can feel the difference.
If you guys like information like that, that's kind of like really nifty tricks. He's got thousands and thousands of nifty tricks like that. The man has a wealth of knowledge of that type of information. Where do you keep most of that information? On your YouTube channel?
Yeah, randomly on YouTube.
Well, over here we got there's a GHD.
Well,
that must be important because it's the only machine in here.
That's a back extension, and I had some friends that closed their gym, and they called me up one day and said, hey, we're bringing some stuff to your gym. So it's a back extension that I saw could be used as a glute ham raise.
Wait, was this red?
No, that's one of their original.
Oh, I was going to say like
black ones.
I thought it was because I've only seen Cerberus make red ones, and I was like, how did you wear it out? So
it's an old one.
Bands, there's lots of bands and chain savers here, straps, more baby food. No, this is a big can of cat food.
Tuna.
I can't read that. Can you?
It's the other side. It's always English on the other side.
Oh, rose meat tuna.
Well, yeah, if you need a place to put like your chalk, you go and buy a huge can of tuna, you eat it, and then now you've got a place to put your chalk. And if that doesn't work, you go and buy a giant bucket of popcorn and eat that.
And this is where you keep your massage
Here,
balls.
we were talking about this earlier. That's what we were talking about.
What is this?
That's what goes in the massage gun that Ilya made.
Okay, so this,
golf ball.
they make jigsaw massages now where you attach them to the jigsaw?
They make them now.
They make them now, but you guys were ahead of the game.
Yeah, they didn't make them when we came up with those.
Okay, so there was a chalkboard behind this banner here.
We had the chalkboard was going for a long time, and we had a record.
This is a fucking, someone is hitting all the reps.
Yeah, well, the artwork was actually from when my oldest son was younger, and he came in one day and just began drawing stuff, and I just haven't had the nerve to erase it, so we left that up there. And then I had a client in Miami sent me the House of Biceps poster that you're holding. She had it made for me in Miami and sent it all the way here, so it's up in here. That is one of one.
One of one. So, story, House of Biceps. How did you get that name?
Okay, I hate training anything arms. I hate biceps, triceps, anything. And all of my training partners for a long time were with the Royal Air Force, British Forces. So, I would come here to train. We would message back and forth all week, about what we're going to do. And, I sent you an email the other day about what we were going to do in the gym, and you commented how detailed and specific that I got with everything. So my training partners, even back then, used to laugh of all my ideas and how detailed I used to get.
Yeah.
And so I came in the gym one day, and one of my training partners got here before me, and he was up there on the whiteboard, and he was writing down the training program of the day. And it was like easy bar, reverse grip with fat grips, bicep curls, with fingerless gloves. And he had all these ideas, and it was stuff that I hated. And he just came up with, there were like 10 different bicep exercises, and that was what his plan, and it was really a joke against me.
Oh.
And he really came up with the idea, Carl came up with the idea of, we're just going to call it Clint Darden's House of Biceps. And he made these old, like 1970s style t-shirts. And he wrote his list of exercises on the back of the shirt and gave me a copy of the shirt. And then it just kind of became the House of Biceps, and people just keep asking.
It's a parody of itself.
Don't you train
Sort of.
biceps? Yeah. And as I kind of got older, a buddy of mine from Greece, I was having some serious health issues, and he's an artist, and he's just like, I'm going to make a skull. He's like, that skull with a beard is you.
Oh, it's got a beard, yeah. I just thought it was cool looking.
He's just like, so he kind of redesigned, we kept the name The House of Biceps, and my buddy Chris came up with the design there, and he's like, we're going to make the skull because it's you, and you're fighting, you're never going to die.
Yeah.
And the beard's always going to be there. I get questions all the time. How come you call it the House of Biceps and never train biceps? I hate biceps. That's kind of the joke.
Why is this sandbag so light, by the way?
It's filled with helium.
400-pound sandbag, guys.
At least. I think it's 402 to be exact.
I'm bigger in person. That's why I'm so strong. I'm sitting at 420 right now.
We filled that with rubber crumb, little rubber chunks.
Oh, okay. So a lot of people do that because it can sit outside. The first gym tour we did this year, T-Mac, he had some sandbags outside filled with rubber crumb, intentionally because he left all his gym and equipment outside. It's sort of like one piece he would pull in and out of the garage. But if it's sand, it gets wet. You're just kind of screwed if you want to use it. It's soaked up.
Well, I wanted something large size. I wanted it the size that I would be using at a competition, but I don't want to train with that kind of heavy weight all the time. Yeah. So it's here because I'll use it to hold during back extensions.
Oh, God, there's more barbells.
A lot of more barbells.
Yeah, a lot of them. What is this double ring one?
See, that is it's a German-made weightlifting barbell.
Oh, that's even better than I thought.
So I can't say that I don't really enjoy using it for snatch and clean and jerk, but I enjoy it for front squats and for weightlifting squats.
Okay.
The SS Yoke bar here is an old one that Dave Tate took off of his monolift and gave to me. So this was Dave's.
Oh, Dave's.
So that's never going to go anywhere.
Okay.
This is always going to be here.
The board, is that for Zerkers?
The board?
Yeah.
No, I used to put it across my squat rack and do reverse hypers. You can put drinks on it.
What? The reverse hyper is that?
Whatever you want to do. This is an old squat bar that turned into a rack pull bar. It's a 50-pound bar. It's kind of bent. This bar back here is one of the first Rogue Ohio bars.
Yeah. You got a lot of firsts in here.
Yeah, this bar back here was the
Do
first.
they send them to you to get
did.
feedback?
He did. He sent that to me.
This is a story you've told me multiple times that people send you stuff and you would, because you're the man, like you know whether it's garbage or not, you'd give honest feedback and companies would actually change the product. Like,
you know, a lot of people do. A lot of people have sent me their stuff just because they know that whether it's good or bad, they know I'm going to tell the truth. The thing is, if it's in my gym and you ever see me using it in a video, that's because it's good. I'm not going to put anything on my back or in my hands that's not a good bar. And this bar is the very first bar I ever used at any gym.
hey, I got mine. That's awesome.
Yeah.
The oldest bar is the bar that I did my first deadlift on.
Wow.
And it looks just like that, and it's actually still got some blood patina on.
Yeah. When I went to move, the lady that was still running the gym gave it to me. She called me up. She said, "I've got something for you."
Yeah.
She said, "Come by the gym, and we're going to give you this."
That's great. It sounds like a very similar story to mine.
That's the Rogue women's weightlifting bar.
Those are great. I got one. Yeah, I love that bar.
I have the Eleiko women's competition bar at home because my wife trains with it at home.
Yeah.
But my wife loves both of them. And this is the Eleiko weightlifting competition bar.
Is this a Buffalo bar?
It is a Buffalo bar. It's another German-made Buffalo bar. It's really, really nice. I use it a lot.
Yeah, you got a fat bar here.
That's the Texas squat bar.
Oh, wow.
And then, of course, over there I've got the Texas deadlift bar. And
I got a Texas squat bar. It doesn't look as beefy as this, though.
Well,
Yours
everything looks bigger. You know.
Everything's bigger in the house of Biceps.
Why not?
Do you train your neck?
No, but I have this out for us to use later on this week.
Okay. All right.
I have an idea. And it involves bands and chains.
Oh, God.
Well, you guys don't want to miss the radio. This is you see the meme, you know, you are this old if you know what this is. I have the radio that they use on all those memes from 1995.
Sam is struggling to film in this room right now.
Your guys' faces, so she's literally
She's absolutely struggling. Zune?
Yeah, you guys know what a Zune is?
Zune. What? No way. You got a Zune?
I have.
Microsoft Zune.
Wait, I don't have a Zune. I have two Zunes. That one fails. It has to be plugged in at all times to work.
Do you guys remember the Zune from Microsoft?
So I got a backup.
Comment below, dude. Do you have any advice for people like home gyms, stuff like that? I mean, this isn't your only home gym. You got a home gym at home as well. So that one is, does it have a name?
Just home.
Okay, well you got a lot of...
Casa del Darden is what my wife calls it.
It's got like this nice little court there with the stones and the sandbags and all that stuff. But it looks like you have more fun in your home gym than a lot of other people do, to be honest.
You know, I love coming in here and I close all the doors and I turn the music really loud and I just get to do whatever I want to do. So, and I've bought stuff slowly over the years.
Yeah.
And I think usually I try to wait until if I'm sitting here saying, I really wish I had one of, then I try to wait till I've needed one of those for 3 or 4 good sessions, and then I start looking.
Yeah.
But, I've been in this room for 20 years. And when I got here, I didn't have much. I had a barbell and some plates.
Yeah.
I didn't have any weight trees to put any plates, nothing. And I just squat, bench, deadlift, log press. I had the Atlas stones outside.
20 years. So
I've been here 20 years.
This is where you built all your strength for the most part, right?
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah. Now you became a pro in 2001 or 2?
2002, 2003.
So right about the time that you found this room and started outfitting it?
I turned pro, and then I sat out 1 year to get stronger and to graduate college.
Yeah.
And during that time, I met my wife. And then I came back and competed as a pro for a year in the States, and then I moved here to be with her.
Okay.
And at that time, I began competing all over Europe and everywhere else here as a pro.
I'm always trying to tell people they need a home gym because I look at it as a hygiene. It's like you got a toilet in your house, you got a fridge in your house, you got a bed in your house. Why would you leave your house to go pee? You know what I mean?
Right.
Or take care of business like
Right.
that. Exercise, movement, stuff like that is so important. Even just like a kettlebell and a stick and a band is enough just to get started with.
I can't imagine not having a home gym.
Yeah.
I can't imagine not having that point in your day where you can shut everything else off, I mean, as a dad who's nearly 50, having that point in my day where I can shut everything off and say, the next hour, it's just mine. And the thing is, the older that you get, the more you need to move.
Yeah. I feel like the older you get, it's like a black hole for time after a while. It's like, because if you don't, it gets worse and worse. It's like, damn, I need to spend more time on this than I used to.
Right.
In my 20s, I'd be able to get away with it. You know, and now I'm almost 40. It's like,
well, and
you're a little over 40.
There are people saying, you know, well, you got to invest money in your health, and this is about health. You know, but when you realize, hey, I can do this and have fun. I can really do this, and I can really have something small in my house that's mine. I can teach my kids how to do this. You know, my wife and I can do this together. I mean, heck, my wife didn't lift weights until I was going through a really bad run of chemo, and she was having to drive me to the gym here every day because I was so sick I couldn't drive, but I was coming to the gym.
Yeah.
By goodness, I was going to be here at the gym. So she was driving me to the gym, and then she would go park at the church right down the street and just sit there until I was done, and then come and pick me back up. And a lot of days I would be so sick, she would have to help me change clothes to get back in the car.
Wow.
So after several weeks of doing that, she's just like, you know what? If I'm going to have to drive you to the gym every day, we're going to lift. So she began training with me, and that's how she got involved in the sport of weightlifting and competing in that.
Yeah, she's jacked. Yeah,
she can be.
She's got biceps.
If she looks at a weight, she can be, you know, whatever she wants to.
Yeah, and I noticed in your house, not only do you have the, what'd you call it, the Casa del what?
Casa del Darden.
You have the Casa del Darden. You got this room, and then also
we do have squat stands in the
that's what I was
living
going to
room,
say. You in your living room, you have a squat stand. You just move the table that we're eating out of the way, and she'll do squats at the end of her day. When, you know, it's just like everywhere you go, it's just like there's something there that you can do. Whether it's foam rolling,
she'll come in after a long day. It's just, oh, my head's killing me, and then magically she'll get under a squat bar. Her headache's gone.
Yeah.
Even just getting into position to squat, her headache's gone. She'll squat the empty bar for 5 reps, and she's like, my back pain's gone, my neck pain's gone, my knees feel better.
I think a lot of people, they think that I feel like crap, so I can't work out. It's like, yeah, you feel like crap, you're going to feel like crap when you work out, but then you're going to feel, that's the medicine you need. Right. So medicine tastes bad sometimes, but you feel better afterwards. Absolutely. And movement can be medicine.
And we're grown adults, and as grown as my wife tries to pretend she either is or isn't, you know, she still loves to come in at the end of a day, and she'll say, no, I don't want to train. I don't want to do that. Okay, I want to squat. And I'm like, you want to listen to music? No, I don't want any music. All right, put my music on. And she loves Pink. That's her jam. When she gets serious, she's got a Pink playlist that she puts on. And then when she goes to compete, she wants that Pink playlist going on, and that's her jam. Wow. But just for her to go through her long day, work a 12 to 14-hour day, and come in and then have 30 minutes, that's her time, right there in the living room. I get the kids to bed. She can crochet for a few minutes and get her mind zoned in. And then she puts her headphones in, gets the Pink going, and then she'll wrap her thumbs with tape, get her belt on, knee sleeves on, starts grabbing the bar, chalking her hands up in the living room. She's in a different place. Wow. It's no longer the living room. It's all about her. It's her place where she gets to find herself. And when she's done, she's ready to go to bed. Restart the day again tomorrow.
That's amazing. Well, there you go, guys. This is a really cool story. Thank you for sharing that. I know, it's really cool. Thanks, Clint.
So glad you're here, man. So glad you're here.
I'm excited. I get to train in the House of Biceps. That's a privilege. So thank you so much for having us.
Oh, man, really glad you're here. Pleasure's all mine.